Why do some kids seem to struggle with constant colds, allergies, headaches, attention issues, or even maybe recurring ear infections? Now, what if this had to do with the neck or spinal posture? It might sound strange, but stay with me because this might just change how you think about children's health. I'm Dr. Ryan Wolfer, and growing up, I was the kid who was sick all the time. 4 times a year, runny nose, chest congestion, coughing that just wouldn't quit. My family even pulled out our wood fire stove because they thought that was making me sick, burning the wood, but that didn't help. Then came bladder infections, constant bathroom trips. If the weather changed, I crashed. I just assumed that was who I was. I was the sick kid. Then the eighth grade hit, and I got slammed by my first wild migraine episode. Vision was flashing. I had numbness in my arm and my leg. I even had trouble speaking. So I ended up in the school office. And instead of the school secretary just, handing me pain medications, she looked at me and said, "You know what? Maybe you have a pinched nerve. You should go see a chiropractor." So that actually led to my first spinal evaluation and adjustment. And wow, the migraine stopped. I got sick less often. My body finally had a chance to catch up. I didn't understand how it worked at the time, but I sure felt the difference. So today we're going to talk about the spine, especially the neck, and why it matters for kids, and it matters more than what most people and parents realize. When we talk about children's health, we usually say, make sure you eat good foods, eat healthy foods, get good sleep, run around, get outside, get activity. And those are all good and true. But there's something that's missing. There's this missing piece, and it's the alignment and structure of a growing spine. Kids' spines, they're developing fast. Bones are still forming, growth plates are open, ligaments are flexible, and the nervous system is wiring up like crazy. If that system is not functioning right, if it's under tension, maybe from a flattened neck curve or forward head posture, it can show up in all kinds of stuff that doesn't immediately scream neck problem. You can get headaches, get recurring ear issues, ear infections, breathing problems, and even behavior issues, focus issues. These actually change in some kids. So what we're going to do now is you're going to see what the research is showing and what you can do to protect your kids' health. So first, here's a 2022 review in the Journal of Contemporary Chiropractic. And what they did is they pulled together 11 pediatric case reports. And the children, the kids were ages from 5 to 13, and they received a structured posture-based spinal care program. Now, and it's designed to restore the natural spinal curves, especially in the neck. And it's called chiropractic biophysics. That's the technique, or CBP for short. And this isn't just, quick cracks at the chiropractor or osteopathic manipulations. This included specific spinal traction to help remold and remodel the neck, and also specific mirror image postural exercises. These are examples of that to help restore the curve. So here's what happened. So across these 11 studies, the children, they averaged about 34 visits over about a 4.5 month period of time. And the x-rays, the actual mechanics showed amazing results. It averaged a 25-degree improvement in the neck curve. So what does that mean? That means, so this is straight, let's say, okay, so that's a straight. So green is where that's a normal and ideal neck curve. And the red here is what the spinal curve, or what the neck looked like. So straight, and that's 0 degrees. So a normal curve is anywhere from like 30 to 40 degrees in adults. For kids, it depends on the ages. It could range anywhere from 20 to 40 degrees. All right. So it's different for kids. So what this found is it went from not having a curve to, on average, improving it by 25 degrees. And that is huge. That's obviously, as a spinal correction practitioner, that's amazing for me to see. And For you, it might not mean much until we actually talk about what this meant for their symptoms. One, this structure change or the symptoms that improved, their headaches improved, which I didn't even put here. Less neck pain or neck pain went away. Improvements in things like asthma, so improvement in lung function, improvement in how they focused and ADHD related symptoms. Dizziness got better. Bedwetting actually got better, and ear infections got better. So these are what I want to point out is these are case reports, so not necessarily randomized controlled trials, but when you see patterns like this happen over and over again with different kids, it starts to get your attention. These reports actually show us and tell us, well, one, kids' spines are actually more adaptable than adult spines. The tissues remodel faster, the spine remodels faster. And correcting problems like this early is a lot easier than when trying to unwind it as they age. So you see forward head posture and this loss of the natural neck curve. It's actually showing up younger and younger and younger and younger kids because of the activities that they're doing. And that, I mean, obviously we do as adults, but with kids on their screens, heavy backpacks, sitting in school for long periods of time, even, playing sports and doing repetitive things over and over again and getting them in these positions that can be harmful or put stress and strain on the neck. With these, the curve flattens and it can place this abnormal tension on the spinal cord, on the nerve roots, changes how your muscles actually function, and it alters how, again, you can see alters how your head sits over the body. And as a ripple effect, it can affect balance, breathing mechanics, and pain, being insensitive to pain. So being more at risk to having neck pain. Because you see here, just with a 30 degrees, your head's forward a little bit more by 30 degrees. That adds 40 pounds of extra stress, all the way up to, again, 60 degrees. So like in these cases here where their head and neck is really far forward, it's straightening the neck curve. It's creating forward head posture and creating huge amounts of stress and strain on the neck and upper back. And this is something that most, I would say, pediatric healthcare visits don't routinely look at is the spinal alignment. They might do, the scoliosis test where you bend down to see if there's any like rib rotation. That's what they're looking at. But even those have a lot of false negatives. Radiology reports, they often focus on fractures or other pathologies they might think happens, but these subtle postural changes, these gradual postural changes, they're not flagged unless someone is looking for them. And this is something that we need to look at because of the effects that it has on kids' health. So what should parents and caregivers watch for? So none of this means they automatically have a spine problem, but it's definitely worth paying attention to, especially if there's persistent or recurring headaches that your child has. If you have forward head posture, if they have forward head posture when standing up, carrying their backpack, looking at their phone or using some other device. If you see one shoulder is always higher or their head is consistently tilted when you take photos, if they have ongoing ear infections, sinus congestion, or mouth breathing patterns where, again, they're breathing through their mouth instead of through their nose. If there's bedwetting past expected ages, especially if other issues are also present. And obviously, if there's chronic neck or upper back complaints and pain in active kids, these are not always just growing pains. If you're seeing things like this, it definitely would be worth having your child's spine checked and evaluated by someone trained in pediatric posture assessment and structural correction. Now, the goal isn't to give medicine or medicalize every single ache and pain. It's to catch these problems early while the spine is more moldable and before compensations happen and become baked in. Think about how we handle teeth. We don't wait until a teenager can't chew. We do regular dental checks, align the bite early, and teach proper oral hygiene. What about the eyes? We screen vision in school. Spines deserve the same preventative mindset. The bottom line is good posture in kids is not just about standing tall for school photos. A well aligned growing spine supports the nervous system, your breathing, the balance, and long term musculoskeletal health. Addressing spinal alignment early could reduce pain now and build resistance and resilience for later. If you've got questions about your child's spine and posture, just drop them in the comments, especially if they're having any of the issues and symptoms that I mentioned. I'll also provide a link in the description where you can schedule a virtual postural assessment with me. It's virtual, it's online. We can do these from anywhere in the world. So we can identify these early and make sure that their spine, their posture is developing in a healthy and strong way. Because as you know, my goal for you, for your family, is to help you be your own guarantee for your health and your life. Till next time.